At the end of The Dark Knight, probably the best movie of the last 20 years, Commissioner Gordon describes why Batman has to go into hiding and wrongly take the blame for Harvey Dent's death. He's the hero Gotham deserves, but not the one it needs right now, says Commissioner Gordon. Well, folks, there's the debate America deserves, and then there's the debate America needs right now. Last night, Fox News held a debate between Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida and Governor Gavin Newsom of California. It was a stark contrast in visions. DeSantis laid out his record plainly. He criticized California's shortcomings accurately. Newsom obfuscated his own record and that of his opponent, but it was, all things told, a relatively normal political debate. A debate in which both sides came with their information and points and then argued over that information and those points and those policy positions. It was, in short, the debate America deserves. It was not, in fact, the debate America needs right now. Here was DeSantis' generalized take on California's failures.
So I was talking to a fella who had made the move from California to Florida, and he was telling me that Florida is much better governed, safer, better budget, lower taxes, all this stuff. And he was really happy with the quality of life. And then he paused and he said, by the way, I'm Gavin Newsom's father-in-law. So we do count Gavin's in-laws as some of the people that have fled California. They understand that Florida's doing it right. And I can tell you the numbers speak for themselves. We have way more people moving to this state than leaving. Gavin can't say the opposite. More people are leaving California than are moving into California. But the reality is they have failed because of his leftist ideology. And the choice for America is this. What Biden and Harris and Newsom want to do is take the California model and do that nationally. In Florida, we showed that conservative principles work. This country must choose freedom over failure.
This is what a good conservative candidate looks like. And here was Gavin Newsom on the other side going after Ron DeSantis, suggesting falsely that he was banning books.
6 books have been banned just last year under Ron DeSantis' leadership. I love that he keeps pulling this out. I've seen this. He's been doing this all over the campaign trail. What's wrong with Toni Morrison's books?
It's not banned.
What's wrong? It's not true.
Not.
What's wrong with Amanda Gorman's?
It's not banned.
And the poetry. 1,406. 1,406 books have been banned on your banning binge in the state of Florida.
That, of course, is not true. Books have not been banned in the state of Florida. The only question is whether there are books that are inappropriate for, say, 5th or 6th graders that don't belong in junior high libraries. DeSantis responded by actually pulling out a sheet of a book called Genderqueer and showing what it looks like in a public school. Obviously, Newsom can't defend that. Here was DeSantis doing just that.
What is the role?
The role of the school is to educate kids, not indoctrinate kids. It's not to impose an agenda. It's to do the basics. And what we've said in Florida is it's inappropriate to tell a kindergartner that their gender is a choice. It's inappropriate to tell a second grader that they may have been born in the wrong body. Now, California has that. They want to have that injected into the elementary school. My wife and I have a 7, 5, and a 3-year-old. We don't think that that's appropriate. And I know most parents do not think it's appropriate. It's also important to respect parental rights to know what curriculum is being used in the classroom, and everything should be age appropriate. I actually have something that I brought that some parents have objected to. So this is a book that's in some of the schools in California. In Florida, this is not consistent with our standards, called Genderqueer. Some of it's blacked out. You would not probably be able to put this on air. This is pornography. It's cartoons. It's aimed at children, and it's wrong. So this should not be in schools. When people like on the left say that somehow you're banning books by removing this from a young kid's classroom, no, this is not age appropriate. And so we're going to stand for the rights of parents. I think we need to do that nationwide. I don't think you can have a situation where some states just trample on the rights of parents. Parents have a fundamental right to direct the education and upbringing of their kids.
Again, that is excellent stuff there from Ron DeSantis. Newsom also tried to go after DeSantis by claiming that DeSantis locked down Florida. Also, simultaneously claiming, by the way, that he was far too loose in his COVID policies. He was taking the sort of Donald Trump view of Ron DeSantis, that he was simultaneously too harsh and too loose on COVID.
Let's talk about your record on COVID. You passed an emergency declaration before the state of California did. You closed down your beaches, your bars, your restaurants.
False.
It's a fact. You had quarantines.
False.
You had quarantines. You had checkpoints all over the state of Florida. By the way, I didn't say that. Donald Trump laid you out on this, dead to right. You did that.
True.
You followed science. You followed Fauci.
That's not false.
He followed science. He followed Fauci. You were promoting.
Did everyone leave
hold on. You were promoting vaccines.
We were open.
You were promoting vaccines. You even wore a mask in September.
We were open. You were closed.
If it's okay with you, We'll do this.
Why were you closed
Why don't we do this in a way where we both can have
Why were you closed for so long?
You wore a mask
closed.
with Donald Trump outside
I'm trying to let it breathe.
in September 2020. He did all of that
Newsom.
until he decided to fall prey to the fringe of his party. And as a consequence of that, Ron, tens of thousands of people lost their lives.
Not true.
The equivalent, if I had your policies, the equivalent of 10 9/11s. Tens of thousands of people lost their lives. And for what, Ron?
So in the same line of attack, Newsom is suggesting that DeSantis locked down the state, and then he's suggesting that he should not have locked it down, but also he should have locked it down. DeSantis responded by clocking Newsom on his own record on COVID.
On a per capita age-adjusted basis, California and Florida, basically the same. Now, why is that important? Because Gavin Newsom did huge damage to people in California. He ruined livelihoods. We reopened the state very quickly. We saved thousands of jobs. We saved hundreds of thousands of jobs, thousands of businesses. We had our kids in school. He had the kids locked out of school because of the teachers union. That is having a generational impact. California has one of the lowest literacy rates in the country. In the most recent NAEP exam, Florida came in number 3 for 4th grade reading. California was far, far behind. So you should apologize for not getting your kids in school. Why didn't you get the kids in school in the summer of 2020 like we did?
The only
you bowed
person,
to the teachers
the only
union.
person,
You didn't do the job you should have done.
All right.
DeSantis went on to roast Gavin Newsom over going to the French Laundry unmasked while everybody else was locked down and couldn't go to a restaurant. I remember because at that time I was still living in California.
The Martha's Vineyard transport, Martha's Vineyard said it was a sanctuary jurisdiction. Kind of reminds me about Gavin Newsom when he restricted Californians, then he went to the French Laundry. These liberal elites, they like to impose burdens on you. They don't want to have to face the consequences of their actions. So we've got a lot of elites who want open borders, who lecture everybody else about it. Then the minute they have to deal with any of the consequences, oh man, all hell breaks loose.
Okay, correction. I had already moved from California to Florida, like tens of thousands of other people. I got to be honest with you, it's been a really rough time the last few weeks. And that means that I'm taking some pretty strenuous measures to reconnect with God. And it's something that I take time out of my day, at least 3 times a day to do as an Orthodox Jew. But I think we all need to deepen our relationship with God at this point, given what's going on in the world. Hallow can help you do it. Hallow is an incredible app that offers a unique approach to prayer and meditation. Unlike other meditation apps, Hallow is tailored specifically for people of faith to deepen their relationship with God. The Hallow app is filled with studies, meditations, reflections rooted in Judeo-Christian prayer practices. This holiday season, access music from the Bocelli family, Bible stories that'll help you reflect on what the holidays are actually about, and prayers to help bring you peace, all on the Hallow app. For my Christian friends, starting on December 4th, join acclaimed actors Liam Neeson and Jonathan Rumi for an incredible prayer experience leading up to Christmas. 25 days of prayer and meditation on the writings of C.S. Lewis. You're not going to want to miss it. If you're looking to deepen your relationship with God and improve your mental and emotional well-being, try Hallow for 3 months free at hallow.com/Shapiro. That's hallow.com/Shapiro. Don't give somebody a pair of socks this year for the holidays. That's dumb. No one wants socks. Give them a gift that will knock their socks off instead. Try Good Ranchers, your source for standout gifts this holiday season. While others will be regifting mugs and candles they got earlier this year, you will be bestowing juicy burgers, crispy bacon, tender chicken, and phenomenal steak upon your secret Santas. Plus, Good Ranchers gift boxes are all 10% off until the new year. Good Ranchers has something for every meat eater in your life. They've got award-winning boxes full of steakhouse quality American meat. They've sent boxes to all my producers, and they cannot stop talking about the quality of the steak and the chicken. They actually sent me a special kosher salmon from their wild-caught seafood box. It was indeed delicious. Delectable stuff. Do you have a fashion-forward carnivore in your life? They've even got an entire line of merch that lets them sport their love of meat and America. When you give someone Good Ranchers, you're helping them make memories together around the table that will last 4 years. Save an extra 10% on every order with my code Shapiro. Get free shipping, plus a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Head on over to goodranchers.com to find all your gifts this year. Use my code Shapiro. Save a bonus of 10% off today on top of their December sale. Goodranchers.com. It's American meat delivered. DeSantis also added that Newsom's home city of San Francisco, where Newsom was mayor, and he had pledged to clean up San Francisco, he pointed out that it was covered in human poop, and he brought the receipts to show it.
Well, I'm looking at total time. Governor DeSantis, about 2 minutes.
He needs it.
This is a map of San Francisco. There's a lot of plots on that. You may be asking, what is that plotting? Well, this is an app where they plot the human feces that are found on the streets of San Francisco. And you see how almost the whole thing is covered, because that is what has happened in one of the previous greatest cities this country's ever had. Human feces is now a fact of life, except when a communist dictator comes to town. Then they cleaned up the streets. They lined the streets with Chinese flags.
That is absolutely correct. San Francisco is full of crap, and so is Gavin Newsom. Perhaps DeSantis' finest moment is when he called out Newsom's vision of liberty, noting that by liberty, Gavin Newsom generally meant taking power away from parents, especially in the area of gender and sexuality.
In California, if you're a parent in Iowa or New Hampshire or South Carolina, your minor child can go to California without your knowledge or without your consent and get hormone therapy, puberty blockers, and a sex change operation, all without you knowing or consenting. How in the heck is that honoring parents' rights when you're bringing people from out of state to go around their parents' backs and getting life-altering surgeries? That is radical. That is
Ron,
extreme.
these kids
that is an assault on parents' rights.
You know what?
Okay, all of this right here is the debate America deserves. You know, a debate over serious policy differences and governance styles, a debate about California versus Florida, a debate over the future of the country. But it isn't the debate America needs right now. The debate America needs right now is a debate over one simple topic. Why are we going to get Biden versus Trump in all likelihood? Why should America be faced with the prospect of an election in which both candidates are elderly and fading, in which both candidates are wildly unpopular with the American electorate? Joe Biden's approval rating is currently 40.6% in the Real Clear Politics polling average. Donald Trump's is at 41.1%. And in which both candidates can only serve one more term in office. Why is that the fate of America? The answer is actually pretty simple. For the Democrats, the party bosses remain in control of the levers of power. For the Republicans, the party bosses aren't in control of the levers of power. Democrats right now are cramming down Joe Biden on their own base. But they also control the power, which means that candidates like Newsom won't admit to running, even though Newsom is pretty obviously running. I mean, he's simultaneously running just in case Joe Biden should keel over or fall down the stairs too hard. DeSantis pointed that out last night.
Employment rate is 2.8%.
That dovetails into my next question,
Why?
Governor.
Because it's a command and control economy. They have a political agenda that they're pursuing.
Let me ask that question.
People.
On with the question of jobs. I think it's important. You know what? That affects. By the way, that affects everybody.
Biden administration, the last 3 years, it's been a master
Joe
class
Biden
of job
paying you
creation.
tonight?
3.9%.
I thought this was state versus state.
No, but it's about the United States of America. I thought this guy was running for president of the United States. If
you
you're
are
running
too.
For
You just won't admit it.
Running for a third
You just won't admit it. You will not admit it. Why don't you admit that you're running?
Hold on.
All right, we can't.
Okay, so that's true. But on the other hand, you've got the Republican Party, where Donald Trump leads in the Real Clear Politics polling average by leaps and bounds in every primary. Trump is, as always, on nearly every side of every issue. This is his stock in trade. He's pro-life. He's responsible for the overturning of Roe versus Wade. And he's pro-choice. He doesn't want to talk about abortion. We should come to some sort of generalized consensus. He's pro-BLM. He literally championed a BLM endorsement 2 days ago. And he's anti-BLM. He's pro-isolationism and he's pro-interventionism. He's pro-entitlements and he's anti-deficits. None of that really seems to matter. That is why Newsom was slamming DeSantis during the debate by suggesting that Trump's nomination is a foregone conclusion.
There are profound differences tonight, and I look forward to engaging them. But there's one thing in closing that we have in common is neither of us will be the nominee for our party in 2024.
He is doing the work of Joe Biden. Now, listen, maybe Newsom is wrong. Maybe DeSantis pulls off a late run. Maybe he wins Iowa and he switches the momentum. Maybe Nikki Haley pulls it off. The odds right now are not in their favor. But if the election does end up being Trump versus Biden, rather than, say, DeSantis versus Newsom, maybe we need to go back to our original question and ask, what is the debate America deserves and what is the debate America needs? The debate America needs is a debate over whether we even have a debate at all in this country anymore. Whether we're even capable of doing normal debate in this country anymore. Whether we are so polarized that debates on policy don't actually matter. The only thing that matters is how we manage our divorce. Sure, maybe we don't deserve a serious political debate because we're an unserious people in a very serious time. Maybe we don't deserve a real debate on policy because we've given up on such debates altogether in favor of knee-jerk sentiments about our fellow Americans. Or maybe, just maybe, the problem goes even deeper than that. Maybe the problem is that after decades of radicalism from the American left, usurpation of institutional power by that left in corporate America, on the courts, in the media, it's too late for any compromise to be brooked or any truce to be brokered. Maybe it's not about policy. Maybe both sides just have a mutual you in mind. If that is the case, that should be the debate. What exactly do we have in common? What can bring us together? What is America really all about? What maintains America? We have to answer that question before we get to the policy questions. Until we answer that question, the DeSantis-Newsom debate will not be the debate we need. And it certainly won't be the debate we actually deserve. Are you tired of the lies and the twists of the mainstream media talking points? Yeah, me too. Join me in my newest series, Fact, where I dismantle and bring truth to this tiring mainstream agenda.